Disney was warned for years that their live-action remake
This
of
is the
Snow White
Disney
would
or
be an
Snow White
abysmal
thing.
failure. They ignored the warnings and instead made every wrong decision possible, leading
They
to a
really
box
did,
office
bro.
bomb. Theaters around the world are empty.
Bro, literally, I've seen countless videos, and this Snow White video thing, literally, or movie, whatever, literally people aren't even showing up. What up, Sleep
The
Brown?
film sold 50% less than they projected. It earned a 1.6 out of 10 star rating on IMDb, a 20% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. The CGI dwarves will give you nightmares,
Bro, what the fuck is that one in the middle?
and the little people they replaced with CGI have filed a class action lawsuit against Disney. Walt Disney himself is turning in his grave because he personally requested that the company should never change, alter, or remake Snow White, but they did it anyway by casting Rachel
Like,
Zegler, who
why? I never
insisted
really
that they
heard much
change
of
the
this
entire
movie.
film to make it more politically correct. Rachel called the original Prince Charming a stalker, insisted that Snow White was not yearning for love, but actually dreamed of being a leader. Rachel also demanded she be paid more for, quote, standing in a dress for 18 hours. Zegler created so much controversy that Disney had to hire a
Jesus.
personal security detail for her co-star Gal Gadot because of the countless death threats she was receiving. This movie is an absolute dumpster fire, and
It
Rachel's
really
response
is.
to the
Nice
film
shirt.
bombing
About
proved that
time you pulled
everyone's
up.
suspicions about her were correct.
I'm a narcissist.
And yet none of that has anything to
Yeah,
do
this
with why
bitch is
people were
crazy, bro.
suspicious about Rachel Zegler in the first place. In 2018, Rachel's friend sent her a tweet about an open casting call for Steven Spielberg's film adaptation of West Side Story. So 16-year-old Zegler recorded and submitted an audition tape.
Bernardo and Anita argue all morning about a fight that's gonna happen tonight?
Now, she was definitely a promising young talent. She spent her childhood acting in countless plays and developed an impressive singing voice. Rachel was just one of 30,000 who auditioned for the role of Maria. Without any professional acting experience, an agent, or connections in Hollywood, she was selected for the lead role.
She
Her
looks
performance
bitchy,
earned
though.
critical acclaim, and she went on to win the Golden Globe for Best Actress in a Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. The industry plant accusations were formed because some people simply do not believe that a no-name
Everything else
actor
to
could get this
yourself.
lucky. She was basically hand-selected by Steven Spielberg. Then again, with the entertainment industry being flooded with nepo babies and people
Miss you
born
guys so
into
much.
immense wealth,
Missed you
Rachel
more.
being essentially a random girl from New Jersey securing an A-list role actually might be
Bro, she looks. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to hate. I should stop hating. Chat, can I hate? She just looks like someone who'd be a bitch. Like she looks annoying. Like not fun to hang out with. Like, yo, where you guys going after this? Oh, I think we're just gonna go home and go to bed. Type shit.
a step in the right direction for Hollywood. However, they may have chose the wrong girl, because her inability to keep her politically charged opinions to herself started to cause problems for Disney executives. As if West Side Story wasn't already a massive introduction to
Party
Hollywood,
pooper.
her next role was even
The
bigger,
newest Hunger
one that could
Games?
set her up
Is
for
it
a
really?
lifetime of success, and that was being cast as Snow White in Disney's live-action remake of the classic. Rachel chose to make this monumental announcement on Twitter where she wrote, "Yes, I am Snow White. No, I am not bleaching my skin for the role."
Shut the
Rachel
fuck
deleted
up.
this tweet shortly after sending it out to the world. However, the reason
Been
she brought up her skin
blacklisted.
color in the first place was to address the criticism she was receiving online. In the original fairy tale and the 1937 animated film, Snow White is depicted as having skin as white as snow. It is quite literally the inception of the princess's identity. But Rachel Zegler is of Colombian descent and has more of an olive skin tone. Now, there definitely
That's
were some
crazy.
extreme takes, suggesting that Disney is evil.
I saw. Never mind. I'll say. I saw this thing. And it was showing movies stuff produced in other countries, and they don't use, like, for example, the Middle East or India. If a character has an Indian story and they're from India, they're not going to use a white person or a black person. Like, we're the only country that does that with our movies, which, like, I think is I think is good and bad in a way. Like, I think that I don't think there should be any judgment based on skin color, this, just the best actress who fits the original owner of the story's idea. And the best actress should, audition. And if she fits the look and what the creator wanted for it, or the producer, whoever's in charge, then that's fine. But, like, when they do it like so like in your face, like no more white Snow White. Fuck that white Snow White. She shouldn't have been white anyways. It's like bro, I'm down for a Colombian Snow White. Shit, everybody loves that Colombian snow, if you know what I mean. So like, I'm not even complaining about it. But why are you bringing it up? Just do the movie, dog.
And only casting POC
What up,
characters
Kato?
to cause outrage. There were also some blatantly racist takes, but most people were just genuinely confused why Snow White wasn't
Right,
going
for
to be
real.
white. And this does seem to be
Like,
a
I don't give a
recurring
fuck
theme
if
for
she's
Disney
white,
these days. The original
Asian,
1989
black.
animation of The Little Mermaid depicted Ariel as a white woman, whereas the 2023 live-action remake cast Halle Bailey as Ariel, who is African American. And yes, this film was also accused of pandering, trying to change something that was a non-issue in the first place. However, defenders pointed out that mermaids don't have a race because they are not real. Normally, these
They're all
controversies
fictional
lead to
characters.
failure, but the film grossed over $560 million worldwide and made it
I'll say this. Another thing too that it might be is like, obviously, you know, in my lifetime, you know, when I was younger, actually, you can't even say more. Racism has made a big comeback in a fucking terrible way. But like, there is a lot of racism around it too. You know what I mean? But like, here's what these actresses, politicians, movie executives, commercial people need to do. They need to stop listening to the loudest motherfuckers on Twitter and Instagram. Listen, bro. There are plenty of motherfuckers like me and you guys in chat who are completely fucking normal, who don't have to, we don't freak out. Oh my god, the Little Mermaid's black. Bro, I promise you that is not the majority of people. The Little Mermaid isn't black. Like, bro, most people aren't gonna give a fuck. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. We're gonna watch it. But like, you got those dumb fuck, rotten, brain dead, dumbasses on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Oh my god, Disney did this. Like, bro, that is such a small minority, and then you end up pissing people who actually just want to go see a good movie.
a solid profit. But Zegler insisted that the Snow White remake was based on an alternative version of the story, one that doesn't have to do with her skin color. She said it fell back to another version of Snow White that was told in history, where she survived a snowstorm that occurred when she was a baby, and so the king and queen decided to name her Snow White to remind her of her resilience. One of the core points in our film for any young woman or young person is remembering how strong you actually are. And while this may seem like a small nuance that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, it was an insight into the major changes that were coming next, because the more Zegler talked about the film, the more it seemed like it was going to be a disaster, particularly in this Variety interview where she talked about how she and the writers are giving Snow White a modern twist.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince. She's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Snow White dreams.
In chat, do you guys like that? Like, is that like empowering? If so, hell yeah, I support it. If you guys feel empowered, but dreams of being a leader, why not write a totally new story instead of remaking old ones? Has nothing to do with Snow White.
Of being a leader, why not write a totally new story instead of remaking the old ones? It has nothing to do with Snow White.
Can we just get the
Zegler,
princess
there is
story?
nothing wrong with dreaming about true love. But people were not overreacting in the comments. Zegler supported stripping this classic story of its roots.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Change the remake, I wouldn't be lying.
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
Super weird.
So
It's not weird. If you love a bitch, you stalk her. So it's what we do. It's how you know we love you.
we didn't do that this
Bro, listen, your teeth are so defined. There's so many little baby gaps in between her teeth that Kevin Hart shops there, bro. Look at this shit. They're just minuscule. You know what I'm saying?
time.
Rachel's tone might come off silly to some, but it is evidently so sarcastic. Referring to Prince Charming as a stalker is inaccurate and disrespectful. We are not talking about just any Disney film. We are talking about the first ever full-length animated feature film in history. This is quite literally Walt Disney's baby. Now, people are already a little apprehensive towards the countless remakes of old Disney classics.
The Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp, I liked. But the thing, I always loved the Alice in Wonderland story. I thought Johnny Depp killed the Mad Hatter.
But Rachel's lack of class and grace pushed anyone who was even a little open-minded away. Despite that, she continued to express her disdain for the original film.
I was scared of the
That's
original
probably why you're
cartoon.
trying to sell
I'm
to
being
bad
so
business
serious. I
news.
watched it once, never revisited.
Like, all the Snow White fans, oh my god, Snow White was my favorite princess growing up. This storyline was my favorite. They're finally making a live action. They just completely butcher it and fuck it, and they just lose their core viewership right there.
Snow White again.
What's interesting about Rachel claiming to be scared of the original film is that she also said the exact opposite during her press tour, showing pictures of her as a child in her Snow White dress and how she always dreamed as a little girl of being this princess. This constant
I don't think I saw the live
flip-flopping
action.
along with her
Oh,
sarcastic
I remember
tone
now
just
with
soured people's perception of
Hermione.
her.
What's
but
her
not
real
only did she
name?
seem unappreciative of a Disney classic, she also made some interesting comments about her next role as Anthea in Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
What made you want to step into this world of DC heroes?
I needed a job. I'm being so serious.
While yes, even actors have bills to pay and need a job to do that, some interpreted the remark as
Emma
snarky
Watson,
and annoying.
yeah.
Now, to be fair, later in the interview, Rachel does go on to express her gratitude for receiving this role, considering it was only her second Hollywood film ever. But her unapologetic attitude on the red carpet continued to stir the pot, and she just kept making it worse, specifically during the writer's strike of 2023. The Writers Guild of America represents...
Okay. I'm gonna say this to actors, influencers, streamers, this. They go out there and they're like, political view. This is my right. You can't silence me in the workplace. Bro, you're an actor in making millions of dollars in Hollywood, the most corrupt industry, living the 1% of Americans while the rest of us are broke, poor, and actually suffering. And if we go to our job and we say something political, we're gonna get fired and be on the street and be homeless. And you're like, it's not fair that on the red carpet when I'm being paid millions of dollars to make a kids movies, I can't push a political agenda because the company I work for and they pay me not to do that shit. Like bro, it's like, bro, when people go to the job they're paid to do, the job they agreed to do, and then they complain about their job. You don't get up there and lie. Yeah, bro, listen. Most people like don't want to do their job, and they're swallowing a certain amount of pride and human self-worth to sit there. Hi, how are you? Welcome in. Please be seated. Would you like any water and bread? Oh my goodness, I'd love to hear about your grandma in the hospital. Like you don't want to do that shit. Nobody wants to do that shit. But you have to because you're getting paid to do it. But then like the more money you seem to make, the more like of a piece of shit you could be, an annoying motherfucker. My professional likes working. Arnold, sell the tickets. Yeah, it's like people don't give a fuck. Like it's like me.
Thousands of writers in film, TV, radio, and online media. They are the backbone of Hollywood's content. Despite their importance, Hollywood executives restructured the industry to drastically reduce residual payments, leaving most writers with little to no income after their work is uploaded to apps like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, etc. So the Guild went on a strike to renegotiate and push for higher.
I remember looking into the writing strike, Actors Guild in Hollywood, and honestly, I'll say this. Fuck, this might get controversial. Listen, if you're selling your ideas, you work for the company, whether you work for the company and they're like, hey, write these ideas for this amount of pay, and you agree to it, and then that idea goes on that they paid for goes on to make $10 million, I don't really think you deserve a bump in pay, even though, like that's what they're doing. Like, but the thing is, if you write a really good story, you can sell it for whatever, or make an independent film, or do this or whatever. If you sell it to Disney and you don't like what they pay for it, don't sell it to them. Sell it to a different company. I mean, shit. Like they're like, why isn't Disney and Netflix and HBO Max paying us? We sold them our stories. Yeah, because you wanted a quick buck, and then it made millions of dollars, and now you want more from that movie. Listen, bro, Netflix, Disney, this, they buy millions of stories a week probably, and put them in plan for cartoons down the road, this plays, organizations, movies, this. Half of them never pan out, half of them don't even get a pilot, half of them maybe go for a season. So they take a bunch, they use the best, they put them out there. It's literally like, bro, Netflix literally just throws shit at the wall and wait till something sticks. and they get a hit. Because half these Netflix originals are dog shit, but every like 10 Netflix originals they drop, there's a really fucking good one.
Higher pay. Rachel Zegler also used her voice to support the strike.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
What? So every hour someone streams it, millions of people streaming it at once, you want to get paid. Now your IP more. I hate this though.
She's like, everything people hate about this generation distilled into a single person. At this point, I'm sure you are noticing a pattern. While we hope that deep down Rachel's intentions are pure and—
Listen, I hate companies and businesses too. But I hate them just as much as everyone else. But like, bro, how the fuck can okay, imagine you're like, all right, I want to make a song. And you're like, but I don't know how to make beats. So you buy a beat from someone. You plan it, you put the music over it, you record it, adjust it, whatever, you drop the song gets 1 million plays, and the guy's like, I know you bought that beat, but I want $20 for every play you get on that hoe. Nah, motherfucker, I bought the beat. The value is because I know how to either make music with it, I know how to produce it, I know how to market it, and you don't have those. So I bought it from you, and it's mine now, and I created the value within it. Just like with Disney. If Rachel Zegler stands there in a fucking Disney dress for 18 hours a day, no one's gonna pay to see that. It's the fact that Disney put in the writing, they put in the actors, they put in the production, they put in the CGI, they paid this. So now it's actually worth something. They created the value, and you created a service.
We hope that she truly is just trying to have an overall positive impact on the world. She has a terrible way of expressing her opinions.
No, she doesn't.
As her tone—
Bro, this is like every like Zoomer iPad kid who grew up Twitter and TikTok mindset. She literally takes her ideas, handpicks them from TikTok and Twitter. She sees something like, oh my god, I should think that too. There not any of her stances she's mentioned is from a point of a place of deep thought, of contemplation, of understanding of any type of societal norm or business or moral or ethical or like background. She's just like, I saw this on TikTok and I'd get more money.
often comes off as disrespectful, having
two
2 movies under her belt and already aggressively demanding higher pay, came off extremely entitled, especially because—
Bro, thank you, Kato. That's such a good word. Bro, I know people, I know them, and when I see like the like groupthink, I see like groupthink changes on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, whatever, and there's just in that groupthink, you know who those people are. Like, you know, if on like Tuesday there's some big beef and everyone's hating on, I don't know, Kendrick Lamar. You know the person who just because they saw it on TikTok's like, yeah, fuck Kendrick Lamar. No 5M, forgot what's wrong with it.
Considering the strike was mostly for
of talking
writers.
Points, yeah, and then like your friend's gonna come in the next day. That friend you know who abducts. Oh no, I'm gonna hop on a little bit. Your friend who like is gonna come in like, yo, fuck Kendrick Lamar. Did you hear that? Like he's making music because he's trying to win the black vote or something. I don't know. I'm gonna get on after this video. It's got like 12 minutes left.
Because main characters, like Zegler, are often compensated extremely generously. By this point, her reputation was at an all-time low, and there were even rumors circulating that Disney was going to axe this film, as countless people expressed that Rachel Zegler is the sole reason that they would not go to watch the movie. But then somehow, Disney managed to make things even worse. They announced that they would be changing Snow White's 7 dwarves to the more politically correct Snow White's diverse group of magical creatures of all sizes and genders. Photos of the cast were leaked onto the internet, which sparked outrage. These look like medieval times reenactors at the local—
Wait, what? This is what they did to the dwarves? Yeah, no wonder I'm not going to see that fuck-ass movie. These are the dwarves! What the hell? Thank you for the biddies, bro. I really do appreciate you.
Fair. Disney quickly responded and said that
these
were not pictures of the actual set, but nobody believed them.
Bro, isn't that crazy? Like, I appreciate all the love. Like, I wouldn't be able to eat, sleep, pay my bills, pay my car payment if it wasn't for all you guys showing me love, supporting me, being there for me. Like, that's crazy. Like, it's been almost a year and a half now since I quit my job, and just been doing social media full time. I'm really not seeing this movie now. The tickets are like free right now, so you could go see it. Go show the man some love. At the beginning of the video, it showed all these people filming videos, and I saw a bunch on TikTok before this of them filming the theaters, and they're all empty.
The only reason Disney planned on changing the dwarves and
Vamp, I will say this, and it'll help you a lot. A lot of things when you're trying to click on it or figure out how you can do it, it's enter, and you can like it'll like dial through it, and you can like key through it.
the first place was because of a comment made by Hollywood star Peter Dinklage, who felt that the new rendition of the movie was not progressive enough.
I was a little taken back by they're very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So you take a step back and look at what you're doing there.
Yeah.
I know. That makes no sense to me.
But,
you're progressive in one way, but you're still making that backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the are you doing, man?
Even though Peter Dinklage has built an illustrious Hollywood legacy with countless roles as a little person, he seemed pretty upset with Disney. They promptly responded that they would avoid reinforcing stereotypes and would be consulting with members of the dwarfism community to make the 7 characters.
Like, you'll see something and it'll say, click on this to proceed or continue. And you'll try to click on it, you'll try to press the normal buttons, but slowly press enter to confirm it.
More inclusive. Most people just looked at this as Disney once again pandering to another social issue, but what often happens when trying to please everyone for the sake of being politically correct, you end up pleasing no one.
What they're doing is pretty much you're replacing jobs that people could have as little people.
This is the guy from Jackass.
It's for dwarfs.
Disney was panicking for a solution to make both sides happy, and nobody could have predicted how bad their solution to this problem would be. Instead of casting real actors, Disney decided to eliminate them and use CGI dwarves instead, which will provide enough nightmare fuel to last you the
I feel like that's even worse making CGI dwarfs look this goofy. Like am I tripping? Like, okay, we can't use creatures, we can't use dwarves, let's just use CGI. Like, they look like lawn gnomes. A mess. Yeah, not a good move. They look terrible. They don't even look like real people they don't look like real little people.
The dwarves look like scary monsters, not cute, charming friends. The overuse of CGI in this film allowed them to take shortcuts instead of creating detailed art.
Holy fuck, 600. 6 motherfucking hundred. I appreciate it right here. Chat, I'm going to show you right here the downfall of all media with CGI. Alright? So, and you're going to recognize this. So, alright. So I can find it. Oh, here's a great one.
Just what the hell is going on with modern CGI? Why is it that apparently visual effects just peaked in 2009 and have been getting worse since then? And it's not
Look, so this is 2024.
Not only that 13 years later everything just looks like garbage, that garbage has to be used in as many scenes as possible to the point that someone can't even put on their own shoes without having their feet replaced in post.
CGI feet, chat. Like, we watched Pirates of the Caribbean with that dope CGI scene with the guy with the stay #1. He was #1. You know the guy with the Davy Jones. He had all those tentacle bits. That was in 2009, and it was amazing CGI, and it just got worse.
At this point, there is more trash on screen than there is in the ocean. Take a look at this. 2006 Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest.
2006.
One of the best examples of CGI done right. There is such love and detail that if you rewatch it, you'll see things that you probably never even noticed on the big screen. Look here, Davy Jones uses his beard tentacles to grab his hat just before the Dutchman submerge, so he doesn't lose it. Did they need to add this detail? No, but they did, because they took pride in what they were doing. 3 years later, James Cameron's Avatar created an entire CGI world that made people want to leave the real one behind, swing through the trees, and ponytail bang or whatever it is these weird tree people do for fun. Somehow, over the last 13 years, anyone with even a drop of talent has been starved, burnt out, and discarded to the floor by studios, to the point where we have to look at this monstrosity. Honestly,
look at this shit!
This could have been a rejected monster from The Mummy Returns, a kino that's old enough to order its own drink at this point. The biggest offenders are easily the MCU and any show on Disney+, which is strange.
Baby, who am I to judge?
since even their own franchise used to look better than this. It's almost as if the visual effects are trying to keep pace with the quality of the writing. Audiences are starting to realize it to the point that even their own directors are having to acknowledge it themselves.
AI involved? Maybe.
Is it real? In that particular shot, no, actually.
Wait, what?
In that particular shot, no.
To acknowledge it themselves.
Does that look real? In that particular shot, no, actually.
It really boggles the mind in the case of the latest piece of trash served up to us like it's the second coming of Green Jesus. Just make her look like Gamora if she isn't going to be radically different from her normal self, instead of this soulless shell, uncanny valley-inducing creature that escaped from 2007's
Yeah, like why wouldn't they just make her look like Gamora instead of turning her into a CGI? I hate the new art style. Yeah, dude. Listen, Tokyo Ghoul, Death Note. One of my favorite things about those animes, of course I love the story of, especially Death Note. I love Light Yagami. But just the style of animation, that old, gritty, hand-drawn, you can see the artist. You know the artist. Nowadays, it's like a dime a dozen. Like, you don't know who the fuck's making the anime. You know what I mean? Like for example, holy motherfucking shit, bro. A rack? Bro, a rack from Chirac. I appreciate it, bro.
Airwolf. What a sad and terrible future this truly is. At least there are some smaller productions like Love, Death, and Robots that seem to care about putting
Is Love, Death, and Robots good? I heard a lot of shit about that. Did anybody see that? I love homie.
I'm into their art. And who knows? Avatar 2 is coming out and it looks great so far. Maybe the big studios will watch it and realize their sins and
yeah, but let's finish this video. I keep getting distracted.
Artistic sets and costumes. They relied on animation, which made the film feel cheap.
Yeah, and then like, for example, Jaws. I saw this thing from Jaws, and I saw the set where they had the giant Jaws shark mechanical, and it moved and swam in the water and all this stuff. And they showed the two, like they zoomed out and they showed the two jet boats that would drag Jaws through the water towards the actress, and it opened its mouth and actually hit the boat. Now everything's CGI. They're not gonna do anything like. Bro, that shit was cool. Like having like making and creating sets. Now everything's CGI. They're just literally like literally this Snow White character. She's in a green room right now. There's nothing there. The room is fake. Everything in there is fake except for her. And she's talking to herself and everything's added in post.
And soulless. Like, wasn't this supposed to be a live action remake? Where's the live action? Why is there so much CGI? Why does it look like a really bad cartoon? Additionally, the significance of the dwarves to the story was drastically reduced. Grumpy and Dopey got a decent amount of screen time, while the other 5 dwarves were barely shown enough for the viewers to be able to distinguish them from one another. Ironically, all of these decisions were made to avoid backlash from the dwarfism community.
Like, in the future, you're going to go to Disney World, and literally it's just gonna be a giant green warehouse, and you're gonna walk in and put on a headset, and everything's CGI in front of you. There's not even fucking Disney World anymore.
And now the little people who were removed from the film are now planning a class action lawsuit against Disney for replacing them with cartoons. This is so ridiculous.
Wait, little people are suing
Actress
Disney?
Allie Chapman, who is 3 foot 8 inches tall, said, 7 talented little people actors could have played these roles in the live-action remake, and yet they chose to use cartoons. It's an insult and discriminatory. You ever see one of those tragic situations?
Vamp, you could have had that role. They should have hired me. Yeah, listen, I'm standing for my little person, Vamp. I stand with the little people. Listen, don't replace little people in movies with CGI. Vamp needs to eat. Her family needs to eat.
Where it's extremely foggy and there's a traffic jam on the highway and you have cars speeding into the fog, just crashing into each other. That is this film. And surely it couldn't get any worse, right? Wrong, because now there was a major dispute between the 2 stars of the film, Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. Fans noticed sometime between 2023 and 2024 that Gal and Rachel may have developed some tension. As you can see in this interview, Gal is being professional, looking and smiling while Zegler is speaking. But whenever Gal is speaking, Zegler refuses to look at her, often looking down at her feet or off to the side. Their body language screams that there is tension between them, and these assumptions
is that a reach?
True. When Disney released,
I didn't notice that much tension between both of them. Yeah, Gal Gadot's a mid-ass actor too. Bro, her and Wonder Woman. Oh my god, it was shit. Her acting was shit.
Official trailer for Snow White. Rachel thanks the fans for their support, receiving over 120 million views in 24 hours. She used that big moment to make a political statement. And always remember, Free Palestine. While some saw this as an honorable act of solidarity, others interpreted it as a jab at her co-star. Gal Gadot is Israeli and even served in their military.
I'll say this, I like Gal. Nah, bro, she's a bad actress. Girl power, bro. She's a horrible actress. She was he on Red Note. Bro, I honestly, I think I found the first Gal Gadot fan, Ali. The first and only. But if you're worried about Free Palestine and it's fuck Israel, which is fine, bro. If you want to hold that stance, I support you, bro. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. But how are you gonna work for Disney? They're one of the biggest backers of Israel there is.
Gal has been outwardly...
Okay, I'll say this. In their defense, I've seen Gal in 2 movies, and she was just laughably bad at acting. But I haven't seen Red Note, so there's that.
Supportive of her country, specifically posting support for the IDF and civilian hostages taken during the October 7th Hamas attack.
Yes.
Almost immediately, Gal began getting a concerning amount of death threats. Things got so bad that Disney had to hire a personal security detail for Gadot. One of the Disney producers...
I think, like, she had the build for it and looked good for it. Her acting is just, like... I'll show you what I mean in a second.
Mark Platt flew from Los Angeles to New York to have a personal crisis talk with Zegler. Platt had to remind her how much was at stake with the movie and her career before asking her to post heedfully. The son of the Disney producer was criticized online for his father trying to reprimand Zegler, to which he responded, "Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt."
Like, if you search Gal Gadot acting, it's all just memes.
And enough champagne to fill the Nile.
Perhaps I've been a bit confusing, but I have no need for your advice. In fact, I find it quite amusing. Telling me to play nice.
Kalel, no.
Enough. Kalan, no!
I said enough.
So exciting.
Who the fuck puts that much of their goddamn hand over the mic, over their face? She like slapped herself in the mouth.
Very interested to find the men who bought those.
How should I
help you? Because we're asking you nicely.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone else in grave danger.
Can I rewind this? This is the worst one.
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone else in grave...
Max Lord, you're putting yourself and everyone else in grave danger. See, Pedro's an amazing actor. He's one of my favorite. I fucking loved him in Narcos. And he's like acting good, but it looks silly because she's acting so bad because he's so into it.
Grave danger. I need you to give...
He looks like he's in danger, and she looks like she's trying to like order something through like a bad like Jack in the Box mic. I need 5 churros, 5 of them. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. It's in front of her face. You can see it reflecting on her eyes. He's reacting to real time. Narcos is so good.
Stone. What happened to it? Just tell me what it costs to get her away from me. Name a price. I'll buy the whole damn boat if I have to. Who are you? The lasso of Hastia compels you to reveal the truth. Now, who are you? As Amazons, this is our duty.
You have no idea what kind of power you're dealing with.
And enough champagne.
Yeah, like every TikTok is like just making fun of her.
Exciting. Theirs and maybe countless more.
We don't have time for a control group. Is it a risk? Yes, but it's necessary.
Why? Because of your guilt? And enough champagne to fill the Nile. Max Lord, you're putting...
Yeah, there are moments.
Hurt the film's box.
Wait, chat. Did I just expose myself? Am I part of the group TikTok thing because I started seeing all those bad acting clips of her on TikTok? Then I watched Wonder Woman, then I was like, yeah, she really is dog shit. Oh my god, chat. I'm a victim of groupthink. I never watched her other stuff. I watched another movie with her where she wasn't as big of a role, and it was after I heard all the bullshit about her. I was like, oh my god, that's Gal Gadot again or whatever. And then I watched it and I was like, damn, she really is shit.
office.
Rest in
Free
peace,
speech
though.
does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without
But yeah.
repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own
She's still a little
immature
doo-doo.
desires, at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. Now, Rachel Zegler cannot necessarily be held responsible for the actions of other people. After all, her and her co-star are
People really don't understand free speech. It like blows my mind.
doing the exact same thing. They are just expressing support for opposite sides. But
have to
all of this
become a
could have been
victim.
avoided if they just left
Gotta take
politics
some L's
out of
to
a
get a
children's
W.
movie. But Zegler was insistent on making her political opinion heard at any opportunity she could.
Vote for Kamala Harris.
Who's gonna be
And
a
it's actually
flop?
non-negotiable.
I mean, real.
Our rights are on the line, folks. Our reproductive rights. Come on. Go vote blue. And if you disagree with this sentiment,
What is that Snapchat filter for this though? What the
hit
fuck?
unfollow button. I don't need your
Got me swamp.
And what better time than immediately after the election of
With
President
Snow
Donald
White.
Trump. She posted on her Instagram story, "I find myself speechless in the midst of this. Another 4 years of hatred, leaning us towards a world I do not want to live in. Leaning us towards a world that will be hard to raise my daughter in." She doesn't have a daughter, by the way. "Leaning us towards a world that will force her to have
what?
a baby she doesn't want. Leaning us towards a world that is fearful. I shouldn't be this shocked, but I am. I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning, and I am
Looks
here with you
bloody.
to cry,
I mean,
to
yeah.
yell,
It's
to
been out
hug,
for 2
to
weeks.
wax poetic on how the left continues to fail us in forging a new path forward.
Merge into
This law should not have
entertainment.
been, and it certainly should not
So
have
like,
been by
I'll say this, like, obviously everyone has a right to stand up for what they believe in. You know, like, just because she's acting in a movie, you know, this is her Instagram story. It's not like she's at Disney for an interview, this. So I don't find this as bad, to be honest. She's not on set. She's not involving the movie. This is a completely, like, you know, whether you agree with it or not, it's a completely personal opinion that she holds, and she was reacting to what a lot of actors and actresses react to. I think the only thing that you can really fault her for is the damage she did to the movie by when she was on press tours, on set, you know, when she would relate and link things to the movie and bring politics into the movie and, you know, the kids and stuff. But, like, you know, posting your Instagram story about your feelings and thoughts and standing up for what you believe in and on your own social media, and it has nothing to do with whatever else she's doing, I don't think it's terrible.
so many votes.
Shout out
Many
Ethel
Trump
Kane.
supporters and Trump voters.
No
and
way
Trump
he didn't read the Ethel Kane statement.
Trump himself never know peace. This sent the media into an all-out frenzy, particularly conservative media, who were shocked that Disney was allowing their star to publicly condemn half the country.
Hello, Disney. You're going to have to redo your film again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for far less.
Who the fuck is this? Bro, listen. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I love Ethel Kane, me too. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna look at this. This panel of people. And I'm gonna look at this. And I'm gonna like if you sit here like, let's listen to what they have to say. You are the dumbest piece of shit ever. You are the dumbest motherfucker ever. Listen, chat. I'm gonna give you guys a huge mind fuck. Anybody on social media, anybody making a show, anybody doing this, and it has to do with politics is a scammer and is a liar. You shouldn't watch them or give them a second of your fucking day. They shouldn't, right? Your political views should be through peer research, reviewed and approved, research. It should be based on that. It should be based on what candidate and what they're running for, and actual legislation and laws that you can see, read, and have been pre-written and stuff like that. Not these, oh my god, can you believe this? Like, bro, anyone who watches this political garbage, I automatically just think less of you. No offense. Like, bro, look, they're talking about politics, the politics of America. Ruthless. We're ruthless politicians. I'm a savage Republican. Man, these and the liberals do the same thing. Don't get me wrong. Like Democrats, Republicans, two sides of the same coin. they elect the representative.
Less than this nonsense.
Rachel finally crossed a line. Disney was officially fed up with her and decided to take action. First, I'm assuming they made her apologize because she redacted her comments she made about the election. From there, Zegler reportedly...
The one time she should have stood on business for women's reproductive rights, she folded, but everything else she stood on business, like getting more money, changing the story of everything. The one decent thing she said, she finally folded on it. Well, yeah, the left holds the largest stake in media.
Began working with a social media guru.
Bro, the media is not owned by the right or the left. And I can't say on here who owns it, but if you think it's owned by the right or left, they've got you they got you. You're coast, Turk. Listen, starts with a J. And listen, chat, I'll say it, bro. Like, I grew up in a, you know, I grew up Jewish. Nothing to do with the conversation we're having, but, you know, I went to what's it called, the Agape Feast. I went to a private Jewish school. Went to all that shit. So, I was gonna say, my mom's half Jewish. I'm a quarter Jewish, but at the same time, you know, if it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, what is it, chat? It's probably a duck. Leave it 100 bits.
Guru paid for by Disney to vet any post before the film's March 21st debut. They essentially had someone monitoring her social media so she wasn't able...
Honestly, I think they also control Marvel Rivals, and they've made Spider-Man super fucking good. Because Peter Parker definitely, you know, he's from New York, you know, Peter Parker. You know what I mean? It's a biblical name.
Able to sabotage the film any further, but the damage had already been done. The film officially released in theaters worldwide on March 21st, 2025. There was a slight chance that all this negative publicity would actually draw more attention to the film, increase ticket sales, and lead to a successful debut.
Insane.
Unfortunately for Disney, the opposite happened. Fans knew this movie was going to suck way before it ever released, and no matter
earlier, I was playing, you can ask chat, this Spider-Man targeted me the whole entire game, waited outside of spawn, and of course my team didn't peel to help me, but he killed me 20 times. That ass killed me fucking 20 times. Only me. He literally solo ulted me like 5 times.
Like a lot until you realize that it had a staggering
I was playing Moon Knight and then I switched.
Production budget, which some reports suggest is actually closer to $300 million after reshoots and marketing costs. That means they had a...
The crazy thing is, we won the game. We won. But the whole game, I was fucking dead because I couldn't walk out of spawn because I was 1v1ing a Spider-Man. He would let everyone else run by. I didn't even say anything. I didn't talk shit in that game. I think I maybe killed him twice and not even trying to. The thing is, the left disregards the size of the media platform they're on and attacks the point of trying to shut down any platform that doesn't conform. Huh? Is insane. I mean, shit, I'll try to help my team win.
Whopping 70% loss, making it one of Disney's biggest box office bombs in recent history. This performance is nearly exactly the same as The Little Mermaid. It had the same budget and had a very similar opening weekend. However, The Little Mermaid
it's not that I disagree, I just don't understand what you mean by that.
Was actually a pretty good remake with positive reviews. Fans later decided to give the movie a shot, which resulted in a $569 million worldwide box office earnings. But due to the overwhelming agreement for people who actually watch the movie that it sucks, and then people straight up boycotting, I don't think Snow White's gonna get a second wind. This is a bomb.
Are you talking about like social media, like Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or are you talking about like CNN and Fox? Thanks to Elon.
And Rachel Zegler's response to the box office failure was nothing short of delusional.
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still
She is tone deaf. What's she talking about?
I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them,
in all media. Tag.
That at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
It
People
was
who already
shit.
thought
I
Zegler
mean,
was a
despite all the dumb shit she said, the movie was still shit. So
narcissist have officially
We don't
confirmed their
flop either
feelings
way.
after seeing this statement. They suspected she was trying to make this film about her. They suspected that she did not care for the legacy of Disney and that all she wanted was the spotlight for herself. And honestly, this response
Same,
makes
too.
it
That's on
seem like
TikTok, me
those
too.
assumptions are now justified. But it's a confusing response because the film was a
Brad
massive
Pitt.
flop.
That's
Like
the human
essentially she's saying,
centipede.
haha, my movies are so great, you just have to line up and you have to watch them. But that's not the case. People are actually not waiting in line for this film specifically because of her. And as easy as it is to continuously blame her for the failure of this film, it's only fair to admit that Rachel Zegler's performance was actually decent. She is a great singer and she definitely
Don't have to care about what other
performed
people
well
think. I
considering
mean, I've never
most
been in
of
a
what
movie,
makes
so
the film actually
she probably got a
bad
couple mil
was
out of it.
outside of her control.
So, I
Like
mean-
most Disney live-action remakes, Snow White just felt a bit bland and lacked the magic of the original. The CGI looked cheap, the colors are
Literally, they
dull and
replaced the little people, and they sued them. Little people sued them because they replaced dwarves with CGI creepy ass people.
boring. The evil queen didn't feel very evil at all. These remakes often struggle to capture the same charm, making them feel like a corporate cash grab. But since Disney will lose money on this film, perhaps they won't make this same mistake going forward. But the biggest learning lesson for
Can't
Disney
act
here
too.
is that
Don't say that in front of Uncle Neutron. We got Gal Gadot stands in here.
the internet outrage is not fake. When people say, hey, your main character is insufferable and I will not spend my money to see this movie, they're not lying. When people say they
She's just,
genuinely want politics to remain out of a children's movie, they are
love
not
to say
lying.
it.
And when
I
people
don't care.
say
I'm
it's
just
better
messing
to
with you.
just invent new stories instead of alter the classics, they are not lying. The people won, but the truth is, this film should have never been made. Walt Disney
My Wonder
himself
Woman.
was extremely protective of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This was essentially his baby. Walt reportedly rejected multiple ideas for sequels, including a proposed short called
Well, to be fair, like Walt Disney was a pretty evil fucking dude. So like, I don't really give a fuck what Walt Disney wants.
Snow White Returns, and was adamant that the original
BRD.
story should not be altered or expanded, as he believed Snow White was a standalone masterpiece that should remain untouched.
what,
And it's
real.
extremely evident that Disney should have
Facts.
honored their
Still a dog
creators'
shit
one
movie.
wish.
So listen, this is how social media works as far as like big media companies and stuff like that. I mean, you can look at it any way. Like if you want to say the left has more stake, that's not true. The richest man on earth who owns a right leaning, he bought what's it called? InfoWars, Elon Musk did. He bought Twitter. He's also bought a bunch of other different media companies, newspaper companies, a lot of different apps, and he's one of the richest men in the world. And he's extremely far right. Now, as far as social media goes, if you think social media is leaning one way or another, it's because in, I think, 2012, what up, Jelani? In 2012, or maybe even longer ago, you guys remember Facebook got sued for stealing your information? They got sued for like $300 billion by the U.S. government, and Mark Zuckerberg was in front of Congress, and he looked like a fucking lizard person, scared as fuck. Well, if you look into the court case, the biggest thing they got sued for was this during the elections of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And other times they basically were using people's likes, personal information, phone numbers, contacts to create tailored content of either opposed political ideology to piss you off, of extremist ideologies to piss you off, or to reinforce a view you already had. And they literally included a lawsuit and were charged $300 billion for essentially propaganda, creating an echo chamber. So thinking that like these people are attacking these people are attacking these people. The same thing happened with Instagram. Things happened with TikTok. That's another reason why the United States wants to do with TikTok, because the algorithm is so specified to put you into an echo chamber where you're only hearing things from people who agree with you, and you're only seeing the most outrageous claims from other people to just piss you off even more, and there's no mutual ground. And why? Because it creates more posts, more engagement, more outrage, because an outrageous post creates more views, makes more money, this. Invade your privacy. Yeah. And so at the end of the day, like, if you think the billionaires, the millionaires have like a certain political leaning, they might to some extent, but their leaning is towards money. It's towards a dollar bill. Anybody with more than $5 million, like at the end of the day, bro, you can't even trust their political opinion because laws and things like this are not going to affect them. It doesn't matter. They're not on the ground. They're not doing the everyday thing. They're not affected by the laws, tax, tariffs, law, blah, blah, blah. So, like, at the end of the day, it's where you put yourself. And like for example, like I saw my friend's social media and like he has this like right leaning Republican stuff, and I saw my other friend like all this left leaning Republican stuff, and then on my TikTok, bro, I got like people like fucking running down what's it called, Subway Surfer, and it's like number 10, the most spooky haunted house, and then like some goth girl in fishnets, then like a funny video of a dude getting run over. Like I don't see any political shit on my social media ever, right or left leaning, because I don't engage with it. I don't participate in it ever. And like obviously they're watching all of us, stealing all our information, so they know what's going to upset you. They know what's going to get you to click on it, what's going to upset you, what's going to have you make an angry tweet, what's going to make you do this, do that. And they're essentially brainwashing you. You got brain rot For You page? Yeah, bro. I'm like a little iPad baby, like I show speed. Oh my god, what a backflip. You know, I'm just over here having a good time. So that was too good. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Everyone has a different algorithm. So the thing is, you can't judge social media as a whole based off what you see on yours, because it's completely specifically tailored to you, your likes, your phone history, what you search, what you do, who you follow, this. So even your VPN, your area code, the country you're in, this. Bohemian Grove. You're talking about the place where, what the fuck was his name? Alex Jones went a while back and tried to expose. So like, and then like, bro, this is okay, I'm not trying to roast any millennials or boomers in here, but you might get roasted. People are like, CNN fake news. Fox News is right. Fox News is racist. CNN protects minorities. Bro, we ain't watching the news, you old motherfuckers. We laugh at Fox News, we laugh at CNN. No one gives a fuck about them. I promise you, in 10 years, the people who hold CNN and Fox News opinions are gonna be dead. We don't give a